Like, I'm always trying to improve for sure. What I've learned through this right now so far is to trust my own instincts, because I made this film based on my own instincts.
Hello. Long time no see, I guess. A lot of you are reporting back to me things and, kind of taking sides about stuff. And I appreciate support. I do. But there's no need for there to be sides. There was an interesting situation. I'm a strong proponent of give it out and be able to take it. And if you can't take it, don't give it out. And that, I guess, is kind of where the association to me got linked into somebody else's review. And my first bit of advice as somebody who is in an industry where creativity and, opinions are like a heavy factor on whether or not you get work or whether or not people show up for your shindigs is build thicker skin or don't show anybody your things. If you're creative and you want all the accolades and praise, you have to prepare for the negativity. There are no movies that have a 100% rating on IMDb. I can't say this enough that I completely understand the difficulty in making something like that, where you need a team to work together and share some sort of vision. But there's like sideways chuckles, and I've been brought up twice now for a review. I approached that review as three entities, I think, and none of them were pleased, and that just has to do with the product. It has nothing to do with the person. And the snarky, giggling, whatever that's going on is really petty. This has nothing to do with friendships, and I don't know why it was brought up during a stream about trailer reactions, but the thing with a particular reviewer that I'm not trying to drag or anything, but there was a personal relationship ahead of time that went weird around a year ago, and then review felt weird as a result. That was the only reason I reacted that way about one particular review. But otherwise, I respect everyone's opinion.
Right.
If 90% enjoy something, what the fuck are you worried about me for? It's just not my deal. Can we talk about something else now? Or our friendship hinges on how I felt about your creativity or lack thereof. Or I could imply laziness. What got weird a year ago is me being evicted in March of 2022. I don't know what he's talking about that got weird. I stopped talking to a lot of people. I got quite depressed. I mean, it's kind of public knowledge that, ask Dennis, the person that I lived with in Denmark. I get gappy with communication if I don't talk to you every day. To say that things got weird. And to associate my review with our friendship going sour, which is news to me, is petty and making a lot about yourself. And that's something I was concerned about the whole time. A very cynical approach to fan filmmaking that a lot of other people have just exploited in the past couple of years. Also said, what I've learned so far is I want to be a better filmmaker, but to trust my own instincts. And then some sort of variation on whose criticisms are valid. I didn't think this was news, but everybody's opinions are going to be different. And to like, I don't know, have this weighted system for criticism is just silly. And to assume that a bad score on your lazy script is due to friendship or a weird personal relationship, grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up and learn how to take criticism that evidently you can't take as much as you give. This is somebody who, again, a different person's review was referenced where that person sourced the filmmaker's critique of another fan film where they go on for half an hour about what should be done. Technically speaking, you do this for this reason, you do that for that reason, and you're supposed to take all criticism. And I was attributed that, well, I mean, I have that thought process. Yeah, if you're going to say it, back it up. There's a reason that I don't have films out there, because they were not good enough. And I just decided that no, it's not worthy. I can't tell you how many times from personal experience. I'll make it about me now, because apparently my film criticism is about weird relationship and I don't know, something weird, like I have motives. From personal experience as a touring comedian, as the guy before the guy, people react differently to stuff. Whether or not they're informed is, that's part of it. But, I can't tell you how many nights I went to a club and, I mean, in the same night at the same club, you do a show at 8:30 and it's just dead. Your jokes aren't hitting. It's just dead. Bad show. And then the very next show, same material, and it kills. It didn't change the material. What people are different. It's not like we're talking about, a Weinstein or anything. Why? It's nothing bad like that. Why can't people separate their art from their relationship with somebody in the, well, thank you, Rotten Tomatoes, in the industry? As a critic, if I ask you a question like, why did you make this artistic choice? And your answer either sounds like bullshit or you don't have an answer, that's not good enough for me. And again, those are my standards. Some people's standards are, oh, I just need to see the thing that I like. Why are you hating on this? It's a Freddy. Look, the sweater's there. I'm happy because Thing is in movie. That's not me. I'm not that guy. And I understand the horror community. A lot of the horror community just wants to see their classic heroes from the 80s and 90s. I get it. But when I feel like somebody's exploiting that community rather cynically, I'll say so. I've said so in private. I say so publicly. You should be your harshest critic. And if I'm a harder critic on you than you are, you're not taking this seriously, and the bar isn't very high. That's how I feel. You know what, you could take my opinion and flush it. That's cool. But my most brutal fear of a product that I supported was it felt like a cynical take on the horror community, and it felt like it was a first draft that was written overnight out of convenience due to being in a particular party's company. It didn't feel like somebody who loved a particular film and wanted to build the universe further and expand upon that universe. It felt like somebody who is very good at selling themselves and very good at being a salesperson, but it felt like a lemon, to use salespeople terminology. And over the course of time, I thought, all right, well, there's time to touch this up and work around it. And the film is what I read, essentially. That's my criticism. That was my fear as a friend and as a weird relationship having person. This is exactly what I talk about when I say that fan films have kind of lost their luster, because people have found the Contra code, and not that much is going into entertaining people so much as, hey, look, person from movie and thing from movie. Money. Help support my side project. If I were to make a film with $40,000 of people's money, I wouldn't use previous IP, but that's the rub. You won't get $40,000 just on your name. When you raise money on somebody else's name and the accolades and proven history of other people, and then you put that out, yeah, it's shiny. The shell is gorgeous. There's plenty of nice things. Evidently, people who are motivated to create can answer why. People who are motivated to create and want to move further take notes. Grifters just keep moving forward with whatever they think. Opinions are weighted by how they're reassured in their ego. Somebody forgot that I had notes from the beginning. Uh, I want to help. I want to like things. I don't want to make something with a thing in it that people are desperate for and put people that are proven in the industry in front of me so that the fact that I'm just grifting kind of gets hidden by the quality that I have in front of me. But if somebody asks me questions or tries to break down my creative process, my ego turns into "we decided." This is a person that, when they premiered their trailer in Brooklyn, New York, said they wanted to get their name out there and they figured they'd use A Nightmare on Elm Street. True fandom. I'm not looking to cause drama for entertainment purposes. I'm just being honest. And when somebody brings my negative review up while smarmily chuckling twice about a weird relationship, I appreciate the Emperor just basically saying, my ideas are the Sistine Chapel. No work needed. Print it. I don't need to validate anything that a person like that feels. If they're going to make me being evicted about them, me not having the right focus on a ton of relationships about them and being weird, I don't know what to tell you. What you won't get from me is something that sounds canned and diplomatic. I won't say something that I don't feel for the sake of whatever. If you are a creator, be more like James Grimm. Be more like Coleman. It seems like the Halloween fan film community can take criticism a bit easier than the other fan film communities. Dave McRae is fantastic. It was absolutely great. Vince DeSanti is just tenfold awesome. And I'm there for anything that they make. But I'm gonna tell them if there's something that I don't agree with. I didn't like that Never Hike Alone had like a found footage type element to it in the beginning. But it won me over at the end. I have respect for people who have respect for the process. I don't have respect for people who exploit and take shortcuts and are lazy and are cynical towards the horror community and just look for platitudes for the sake of their ego. I've never taken a first draft and shot it. Never. But, $40,000, I've never had that to work with either. So if you're going to be an egotistical child about criticism, then I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to work with you. But supporters of mine, just please don't be lemmings. I'm going to be honest. Even on you, if you come to me as something that feels like a yes man, that turns me off. I appreciate people sticking up for me, and there are times absolutely where I feel like it's needed. But at the same time, I don't want 100% support, because I don't 100% support myself. I would hate to tell you what goes on in my head before I try to sleep. I am not 100% secure in anything that I do, or myself, should I say. So don't you be. You can be with me 99%, and just be skeptical with that 1%. Some people, it's the complete opposite. Because I'm so honest, it's the absolute opposite. Because Jimmy Carter told this country we need to stop being about the things that we own. We need to be about the things that we are. And since then, this country has said, fuck that. Jimmy Carter is somebody I can completely understand and agree with and appreciate what he was trying to tell Americans before I was born. We haven't had somebody like that since. Bernie Sanders is close. Chris Christie is close. For 45 years, Americans have been just feeding themselves with information that they want, while the rest of the world is getting much more civilized, progressing much more socially. I like to be the person that says the things that I think and not what I think will get me the most praise or what will be easy on somebody. When I'm doing comedy, it's satire and it's something that isn't Charles Patterson speaking. It's a shame that the internet has ruined my childhood nickname, CP. You know, people who don't like me are certainly keen on what CP stands for, and they'll use that in a negative fashion, and fine. But CP and the material that is presented on stage in front of a camera is not Charles. I don't have a hard time with women. I've been married twice. That's not me. I can't stand porn. That's not me. It's a satirical character. My film is a satirical take on how sex is very strong in capitalism. But I don't have a horror icon in it, so I'll never get the proper backing for it. It's fine. I get it. But I don't mourn the weird friendship. I mourn the idea of the really sweet person that I thought stayed with us, and so much so that I wanted to give that person a piece of me, and they can't separate that from criticism, which is fine. You know, I'm somebody who has 4-minute intros. It's self-indulgent. You can call me on it. Cody does, but it's a two-way street. And if you're only driving one way and you're putting parking cones up for criticism, then let's just shut the road down. We could save on a whole bunch of taxes.